Greetings, I'm Carl Groves. I am the CEO and the founder of Disability Consulting. If you're watching this, it means that you've signed with us to represent you in your disability claim. If you've signed with us, you probably already have your case filed by us, but I want to get with you and kind of introduce you to who we are and what you can expect in the process. So there's three C's that I want to talk about, three C's, and that is cooperation, commitment, and communication. What you're shortly going to get from us is a phone call from a case manager. Your case manager is going to handle the day-to-day things, the processes of your case. They're going to talk with you. They're going to call you in the next few days. They're going to introduce themselves and tell you what you need to expect. And I'm going to tell you what you need to expect also right now. But they're going to basically handle everything from day to day. If you have a change in your case, if you have reported a new address, a change in your treatment, and they're trained to call you periodically. We're one of the few firms that we are going to proactively call you, even if we don't have things to tell you, just to make sure that you know we're still working on your case and we're still pushing Social Security to make a decision. So one of the first things that we need from you is cooperation. You're going to get a packet from Social Security. This is called the attestation packet. Even though we've gotten all your information in intake, and even though we've already filed your case, Social Security is going to send you some paperwork, and it's going to be daunting. It's going to look really thick, and I don't want to mess with this. You have to mess with it. You have to attest to your case, or it never even launches. Even though we filed it online, even though Social Security has acknowledged that we filed it online, if they send you this packet and you don't, all you really have to do is sign. You don't have to send in the whole packet back to them, but you do have to send in the attestation page. And all it means is that, yeah, I want to apply for disability, and yes, I know Disability Consulting is representing me. If you don't attest, let me tell you what happens. Because Social Security is horrible in communication, we won't find out about it for a couple, 3, maybe even 6 months. We'll be talking to you, and you'll be talking to us, and then we'll call and say, hey, we want to check on our client's case. We just talked to them, and they haven't heard anything from you guys, and they'll be like, they never returned the attestation stuff. We never launched their case, and that's a big no-no. It literally means that you will have wasted months in a process that really didn't even take off. So make sure that you cooperate with Social Security. And that's pretty much, you only have to do that once, by the way. If you lose your case and we appeal it again, you don't have to attest to it every time we do things like this, at least now. They might change that in the future. But just make sure that you attest to it. As far as cooperation with us, you're going to hear from your case manager a pep talk, and they're going to tell you, hey, listen, several things that we expect from you, and these are the things that you can expect from us. We're going to work diligently to get your case approved as quickly as we can. We're going to make sure that Social Security knows about your impairments. We're going to give Social Security our theory of the case as to why you're disabled. What you need to do as far as cooperating with Social Security, the first thing is that attestation. Make sure that you send it back. Again, not to scare you, but if you don't send it back, basically the case never launches, and you won't find out about it for a few months, which means that you'll literally have lost that time. We're going to give you a pep talk about making sure that you are faithful in medical treatment. If you've got a mental health case, you're going to your therapist or your psychiatrist or your psychologist or your case manager at some mental health facility. If it's a physical case, you're going to your doctor. And it doesn't matter if when you go to the doctor, you only see a physician's assistant or a nurse. That's still legitimate treatment, and you're okay with that. What's not okay is if you don't go to treatment, and then we're going to tell Social Security you're disabled. We don't have any evidence to prove that, but and it's a really weak argument to make. And we want to make the strongest argument because we want to win your case, and that's how we do it. We win your case by the evidence we present. So that's cooperation. The next one is commitment. And commitment is, I don't think that you would have called us if you didn't think that you're disabled. But to be committed to the process, you got to be expecting several things. You got to expect that it's not going to happen quickly. Even if you have a horrible, horrible disease and a horrible, horrible symptom from that disease or symptoms from that disease, and your medical records are just absolutely perfect, your doctors cooperated with us, cooperated with Social Security, it's still not going to be a quick process because Social Security looks at cases as they come in. So if you've got 5,000 people in your location who have filed before you, Social Security is going to get through those 5,000 people before they get to you. So there is a queue, there is a long wait. And I tell you that up front so that you'll expect it and you won't get frustrated in it. There are a couple examples that where you wouldn't have to wait, where you could actually skip the front of the line, but they're horrible. But there are a couple examples. One of them is that you've been diagnosed with a terminal disease, and Social Security would want that documentation from your provider. And the other one would be that you are being evicted, not that you're being threatened to be kicked out, that you've actually got the letter, you must be out by such and such date. So any kind of foreclosure or eviction with that's actually in process, not a threat, it's actually, we expect you out by this date. Again, we'll provide that letter to Social Security, and that will move you, I won't say to the front of the line, but it'll move you forward. But even that, just to be completely candid with you, even if we do that, we're not talking about a few days. We're talking about a few months that it's going to take to win your case. If everything works out fantastic, it's still going to be a few months. And that's just, again, because you have those thousands of people in front of you. So commitment, you need to be committed to the process. And this makes a good segue into the third C. So the first one was cooperation with Social Security and with us. Second one was commitment. We're going to stay with the process. We're going to make sure we get through keeping our medical treatment. We're going to realize that it's going to take a while, and therefore, we're not going to be happy about it, but we are going to try to be patient about it. And the third one is communication, and communication kind of goes through the other two C's also. Communication with us is of paramount importance. We're going to call you periodically, but if you've moved, or if you've changed phone numbers, or if you've lost your plan because you couldn't pay for it and therefore you don't have a phone, somehow you have to communicate with us. I'm going to give you an episode that happened in the last year. Had a hearing, and we hadn't talked to our client in about 3 months. He just kind of fell off the face of the earth, and we're like, where is this guy? So we told the judge, hey, I'm going to present this hearing, but I don't think they're going to be there because the number that we have is disconnected now, and we've sent them letters, and it's coming back. And the judge, sure enough, we had the hearing and called. It was a phone hearing, and they called our client, and he didn't pick up. And the judge was like, well, I'm going to send a letter to the last address we have, and if he doesn't respond, I'm just going to dismiss the case. Okay. Fortunately, he called us about 2 weeks later, just, hey, have you heard anything about my disability case? We weren't happy. Yeah, we've not only heard something about your disability case, you had a hearing scheduled, and we've had the hearing, and the judge is sending you a letter wanting to know why you missed the hearing. Well, I moved. Did you tell anybody that you moved? No. Okay, you got to tell somebody if you change your address. And what about your phone number? Well, yeah, it got disconnected. I got a new one, though. Well, did you tell anybody about that? No. Okay, well, make sure that you communicate with us. Keep in contact with us. We are not, we're not one of those firms that gets angry if you call us, every 2 or 3 weeks. I love my clients to call me every 2 or 3 weeks. So make sure that you stay in communication with us. If you stay in communication with us, we'll stay in communication for you with Social Security. Another good point of communication is our YouTube channel. So if you're watching this, you obviously, gotten the link from us and you're on YouTube watching us. We do podcasts every week. So a lot of the questions that might come up during the course of your claim, we might have already answered in a podcast. And we answered lots and lots of different questions. We covered lots and lots of different topics. And they're all specific topics to Social Security disability claims, which is what you are embarking on. So that's the main things that I want to talk to you about today. Just expect that you're going to get something from Social Security. Just expect the process is long, but trust that we're going to try to get you through that thing as fast as possible. Make sure that you communicate with us, that you stay in contact with us. Nothing wrong with you calling us every 2 or 3 weeks to find out what's going on. In fact, I like that. And check out our YouTube channel, because you're going to hear a lot of new stuff every week that will likely pertain to what you're going through. So to recap, again, just remember the 3 C's. So cooperation, commitment, communication. Those 3 things, if you're good about those things and you're faithful about those things with us, your chances of winning your disability case skyrocket. Thanks.